Here's the next addendum we want to take a look at. This is the FHA VA addendum. It works for both types of financing. I just want you to know that when you are working with a buyer who's getting FHA or VA type of financing, this document will suffice for most mortgage companies. So the only thing that you really need to take a look at this point, what's the date of the purchase agreement? This is going to sound familiar. What's the property? And this is an amendatory clause. So it's getting into simply that if the property doesn't appraise for what they've purchased it for, that they don't have to move forward. Now that's really the simplicity to this particular paragraph. The seller, borrower, real estate broker, agent involved in this loan transaction are certifying that terms attached to the sale contract are true and correct. Any other agreement entered into by any of the following parties must be disclosed and attached. So it's, hey, everything's up front. Don't bury anything under the table. So this is the seller, the borrower, the real estate broker, the real estate agent, all parties to the transaction because we're all signing. This then goes on to what, if any, is the seller contribution? Is there any? If it's no cost, we're not asking for quote-unquote concessions is the term we're used to, then we're going to click no cost. On the other hand, it could be B on here, and if it is B, then at that point, X amount of dollars to be used toward buyers, closing costs, discount points, prepaids, and adjustment. It leaves you a little bit of a blank to put anything else in here, but this really does cover it in regards to this FHA VA addendum. And then it could be you have something else, fill in what that is, and then put it on that addendum. Make sure this is just noting that there is another addendum to this. Pest inspection. Seller or buyer. A buyer agrees to pay for the required pest inspection, if there is any. And it's just simply stating that, look, for the VA, the seller has to pay. And look, that's subject to change if it hasn't already. Reinspection. So the appraiser goes out, the appraiser does quote-unquote an inspection. Now they got basic things that they're supposed to look for. Head and shoulders inspection of the attic area. They've got to look for GFI circuits in place with anywhere 6 feet of running water. They got to verify that there's running water. But outside of that, that's a type of inspection that they do, and it's done on behalf of FHA and VA. Or if they do see any repairs, this is addressing who's going to pay to have the appraiser come back out and verify that those repairs are actually done. So that is what this is. If it's a VA mortgage, guess what? Seller gets that. That's on theirs. The required repairs, it's seller agrees to pay up to, and then buyer agrees to pay up to. Paragraph 7 to this says that, well, if both the buyer and seller agree to pay a portion, who's paying first? You're simply going to put buyer or you're going to put seller. It won't even allow you to put both. But it is an option as to who's going to pay it. Buyer agrees to apply for FHA mortgage and lender to directly endorse FHA underwriting for such mortgage. Guys, after that, here's your signatures. And it's a completed addendum. So again, this one, if you have FHA, you have VA, this is a document you're going to use. So, hey, great buyers to have. Go out and see them. Talk to people. See ya.